Welcome to DentonRadio.com, powered in part by Classic of Denton.
It's not something that, oh, I'm going to be a creative groomer. That has to be in your blood.
Kobe is my creative partner.
When you don't have a child, but you have a poodle.
I couldn't live without dogs, that's for sure.
Make some noise! If you're in the grooming industry, this is the place to be.
Once you get on that stage, it is a competition. Creative was just dwindling away when I first started.
I want to be as good as all the others.
If I don't win, you don't need to be there because I'm sad.
The way I groom is more artistic than technical. I started to have a lot of success. Eventually, I even got first.
My current designs, they're not on that level yet. It looks a little bit more like green sludge.
The ultimate goal is that first place.
All right, Well Groomed is coming up at Thin Line. If you guys have not checked this out, it's still playing in the background. There we go. If you guys have not checked out this documentary, you really, really need to, because it's going to be a fun, fun, fun time. And premiering the Thin Line Festival, if you've been paying attention at all, Thin Line Fest kicks off today right here in Denton, Texas, and we are getting the opportunity to sit down with the writer, producer, director of Well Groomed, the opening film for this entire festival. So thank you very much, Rebecca, for coming and hanging out.
Yeah, I'm
with
happy
us.
to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how you got into documentaries, all that good stuff.
Yeah, totally. So I'm from California. I live in Brooklyn. I was studying in California and graduated, and I think probably many of your listeners graduated without a job or any job prospects.
Right.
And so just figured that I would take an opportunity to move to New York and explore what I could do. And while I was there, I met a documentary director and decided to, jump into the field. He gave me my first job. And as I was kind of exploring that and working with him, I decided that, filmmaking is kind of fun, and if I can make some money doing it, then why wouldn't I just follow a creative passion?
Of course.
And I was also looking for a way to spend a little bit more time with animals. So I was
Cool.
like, okay, well, now I'm learning about how to make films, but I don't get a chance to get as surrounded by animals as I did when I was younger. We always had a lot of pets. So I was like, maybe there's something that I could explore there. And started diving in and looking at all the dog communities in New York, which there are many. And of every different color and stripe, as you can imagine. And then I found out about creative dog grooming. And as a documentarian, I looked at a picture and was like, yes, I will spend a little bit more time in this world.
I love it. Well, man, when I saw the trailer, I was just shocked. I was just blown away at how intricate and really incredible these designs are. And I had no idea. I mean, I knew there was dog grooming and I knew there was dog showing and all this kind of stuff, but I didn't know just how incredible or intense this grooming was. So are there any stories or some cool things, without giving too much away, that you can show us that you got to see in the process of making all this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that you even know about dog grooming. I feel like a lot of people who own dogs or have dogs don't necessarily know that much about dog grooming.
Right.
I didn't. So when I was little, we had labs and pit bulls, and we never took them in to get groomed, and we'd clip their nails at home if necessary, but they really were kind of truck dogs.
Yeah.
And so I went in knowing absolutely nothing about the world, and all of a sudden I was surrounded by these incredibly fluffy puppies and poodles and Bichons and all of these different dogs.
Amazing.
One of the interesting things that I learned about, without giving too much away, is just that poodles absolutely need to be groomed. I didn't know that at all. So it was just never a dog that I had. And there were so many different breeds of dogs that need to get groomed in order to stay healthy.
Right.
And when we were going around the country into these grooming shops, we'd like stop it, and there'd be people who hadn't gotten their poodle groomed for like 6 or 8 months, and the groomers would be like, "Oh my God, like, we need to do more public education." I was like, "This documentary won't do that, but you guys definitely should." So I'm here to help.
It's very, very cool concept and just really interesting idea. For just how much goes into it. It's really incredible.
They're really like topiary Technicolor designs. They kind of like jump off of the dog.
Yeah, it was just sensory overload in looking at this. What I think is really exciting about this film is every year when we talk about Thin Line, as it's been growing and growing and growing and growing, people hear about it and they go, okay, documentary film festival, all right. I don't know. I don't know how much thinking I want to do on a weekend. You know?
Absolutely.
And there's some very serious pieces and some pieces that are going to make you think and all this kind of stuff. But there is this great blend as well of films that are just going to be really fun to watch and something new to learn about that maybe you didn't know about before, that's going to just make for a really cool experience. And I'm super excited that this is the opening documentary for Thin Line, because it makes such a big splash that this is not just stuff that's going to give you a headache trying to think about it. There's some stuff that's just going to be really fun and elevating and just cool to see. And so are there any other projects that you're working on that we need to know about, or any other stuff that we should point folks to?
Oh, man. So, yeah, I totally agree on the documentary front. You know, I'm a huge documentary lover. I've been working in it for 7 years now.
Cool.
And documentaries have become so beautiful, and they're really films. And I think in the last like 10, 15 years, they've become much more narrative oriented, kind of like going to see any movie at a Cineplex.
Right.
But a lot of documentaries do put kind of like the education first and then like kind of the fun after.
Yeah.
And this film kind of flips the two. It's really meant to be watched on a Friday night or a Saturday night and just like hang out and chill and see something that you never would have seen otherwise. And hang out with some people who you might not have met otherwise. Right.
Yeah.
So, other films that I'm working on, you know, I'm a full-time creative producer and director in New York. My last film, Trey Mason Desan, just premiered on PBS, so everyone can see it. I highly suggest. And then I'm working on a documentary about a skyscraper in Manhattan as well, which is always cool. And I'm kind of noodling around with some other independent ideas at the same time.
That's cool.
None that I like feel like I can share at this
Sure, I totally understand.
they're too small.
Yeah, I like it. Well, anything else about Well Groomed that we want to make sure we touch on to let everybody know that they need to go see this film? Because
you mean
really,
other than
cool
liking
concept.
our Facebook page?
Do that as well. Make sure you go like the Facebook.
Please
In fact, where can they go find
page.
more stuff on Well Groomed? Because you guys have a Facebook, you've got an Instagram, you've got a Twitter, you got all that good stuff.
We've got a Facebook and an Instagram and a website.
Awesome.
Twitter is a dark and intense place.
Dig it. Awesome.
But yeah, so it's wellgroomedfilm.com.
Cool.
And then Well Groomed Movie on Facebook.
Awesome.
There was another film that got ahead of us on the Well Groomed trend. But yeah, no, come and check it out. And we keep it constantly updated with different screenings and where the film might be, and updates on like the people and the women and us as a team. So yeah.
So cool. Very, very cool. Well, guys, if you are a fan of dogs or grooming or just wild color schemes, just make sure you check it out tonight at 6:30.
At 6:30 at the Campus Theater.
Campus Theater, right. So right here in the middle of downtown Denton, you're going to get to see a really, really, really cool film for free. Make sure you go register for your spot at thinline.us and get involved with everything going on with the Thin Line Festival, guys, because there's a lot of really, really cool stuff coming down the pike. Rebecca, thank you so much for coming and sitting in with us. Guys, check it out. Well Groomed this year at Thin Line Fest, kicking off today. Thanks for being here with us, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.